What's up, YouTube? This is Leon, back to review another paperback horror novel from yesteryear. Today, we are talking about Bill Garnett's The Crone. See if I can reduce that glare there. Yeah, there you go. Isn't that just lovely? Look at that. So, this book was one that I discovered randomly browsing the shelves, perusing the shelves of my local bookstore. I really dug that cover, and then when I read the synopsis, I just had to have this book. So I'm going to read the synopsis to you folks. In an ancient Transylvanian ritual of blood, fire, and steel, she died to create a creature of vengeance. First, the creature was a mindless lump of semi-fluid flesh resting under the floorboards in the dingy London rooming house. Impelled by its overwhelming need to eat, to grow, it fed on beetles, silverfish, then rats, each time changing, taking the form of its victims. Then it heard the baby's sickly wail. ... I mean, really? They had me at the creature was a mindless lump of semi-fluid flesh. Sold. I was on it, like that. And that semi-fluid flesh does appear. It takes a little while. This book is not in any hurry to get there. And the baby at the end of the synopsis here doesn't really figure too prominently into the story. It's just but one victim of this semi-fluid flesh. Yeah, so this book, it was fun, Not a perfect book. It did slow down a little bit in the third act, and the ending was quite predictable. Very EC-like, the ending. But well written. This Bill Garnett guy can certainly write a hell of a lot better than a lot of other writers at the time. Is descriptive, vivid, evocative, technically very competent, which I always appreciate, because you read enough of these books, sometimes you just get a little depressed by the workmanlike writing. But this one was very entertaining, just in that regard as well. And this book would appeal to people who like, creature horror, I think. If you're a fan of, Frank Henenlotter's films, Basket Case, Brain Damage, if you like Sam Raimi, you may enjoy this one, And I don't think this one is too hard to find. Basically, in a nutshell, a guy, a successful business owner in England, who owns a travel agency, starts an affair with a secretary, as these successful guys do, and tries to break it off with her, comes to his senses, but the girl's not having it. The girl commits suicide on accident, but it makes him look really bad in the suicide letter. The girl's mother, the titular Crone here, this Hungarian woman, when she finds out that her daughter committed suicide because of this guy, she is not happy. In fact, she is furious. She is so furious that she curses the guy with this black magic ritual, this insane ritual, Transylvanian ritual, where she carves a fist-sized lump of flesh from her thigh, burns it over this fire, fashions the flesh into this semi-man-like shape, and then baptizes it in her own blood as she slits her throat. And then this little man-shaped blob of flesh, the semi-fluid flesh from the synopsis, kind of goes into the floorboards of her flat, and it consumes, it has to consume to stay alive. So in the beginning, it's like beetles, it's like, a rat, and it takes on the appearance of the things it consumes. A baby, then the baby's mother, and this thing that has been, kind of conjured up as a curse. Its sole intent, what do you think it is? To kill that poor business guy, you know? So really, you shouldn't be cheating on your wives, folks. It's just, you do that, you incur the wrath of a Transylvanian crone or hag. She's gonna curse you, and you're gonna have these like blob-like things coming after you. And then it chases this guy. This guy, he's like, after a couple of close calls, he's like, I gotta get out of England. So he like concocts this excuse, and he takes a travel trip. He goes to Istanbul. He goes to Damascus. He goes to Cairo. All the while, this fucking blob is following him, taking on the shapes of different things. Like at one point, it's this like humongous bird that like swoops at him when he's on a balcony, and luckily misses him. Unfortunately, the tourist next to him gets decapitated. But this thing is just like resolved to get him, and then he has to, And the thing about these books though is that it's going and it's going and it's going. A lot of the times these books do fall apart in the third act. They just get wrapped up too quickly. This guy, he's in Africa, and he decides to go to, like, he's got a buddy living there who, like, knows a medicine man or a witch doctor, and then the guy, like, it kind of wraps up a little too quickly. However, for the most part, very entertaining read. I read this thing in about a day. It's fun. As I said, it's well written, and there are some pretty cool passages of, slimy, blobby creatures, and I always dig that. So yeah, check out The Crone by Bill Garnett if you get a chance. And as a little bonus recommendation, if you like this kind of stuff, if this sounded appealing to you, another book I might recommend is Throwback by Mark Manley. This is pretty rare. This was published by Popular Library in, let's see, probably 1987 or something. Yeah, 1987. This is very, very pulpy, very, very crazy. Basically, this poor woman starts to have this vestigial growth, basically, come out of the back of her neck. And it's a creature, and the creature starts to get bigger, and it starts to dictate what she's doing. And by the end of the book, this creature has grown arms and legs, on the back of her, and it's like, dragging her around and like just killing things. And it's just nuts. This one's fun too. But yeah, this one, if you like that kind of thing, The Crone and Throwback, there you go. You get a twofer today, folks. These are both very fun books. But that's going to do it for today. Happy New Year, by the way. I am not really good with New Year's resolutions. They always fall by the wayside by like February. However, my goal, what I'm going to say is in 2018, I want to try to make a short little video for every kind of pulpy paperback horror book I read. Just for these types of books. I won't do it for like the newer stuff or things that I read on Kindle. But these, my goal, my resolution, we'll see if it lasts more than a couple of weeks, as my past ones have not always lasted. But yeah, that's my goal. I'm going to try to get a video overview of one of my favorite publishing imprints soon. So stay tuned for that. And nope, it's not Zebra. It's not Leisure. You're just going to have to stay tuned to find out what that is. But I'm hopefully going to have that up, sometime in the next week or so. So yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys have a good one, and peace out.